Saints rookie minicamp has just wrapped up its second day, and there's so much to talk about. Spencer Rattler looking sharp, Fuaga switching from right to left, what Klint Kubiak had to say about guys like Alvin, Kamara, and Taysom Hill, and a lot more right here on the Straight Up Saints podcast.
You're listening to the Straight Up Saints podcast.
What is up, Houdat Nation? Welcome back inside another edition of the Straight Up Saints podcast. I'm your host, Chris Rosevoglu, and as always, we're brought to you by Scott Vicknair Injury Lawyers and by Crystal. The second day of Saints rookie minicamp is officially in the books, and there's a lot to talk about and a lot of excitement. And I know it may seem like to some delusion, some might be an overload of optimism, but I think that's okay. Us Saints fans have gone through a pretty rough series of events over the last couple of seasons, whether it's the disappointing play, signings not working out, draft picks not working out, whatever. This is the time to be optimistic. And boy, do the Saints have a very intriguing draft class to get optimistic about. And a lot of it will be around the quarterback, Spencer Rattler, and the potential, even though he's just a fifth-round pick, the potential surrounding him. And I'll get to him in just a couple minutes. Before I do that, though, I want to start off with the main headline from rookie minicamp so far. And it's the fact that the Saints have decided to make Taliese Fuaga go from right tackle to left tackle. Now, when the Saints drafted Fuaga, I thought you just pencil him in at right tackle, or heck, Sharpie him in at right tackle, and you feel like he'll get the job done. It's something he did at Oregon State. There's no growing pains to go through or adjustment period outside of getting used to the pro speed. But in terms of playing the position, you don't have to worry about it. That is his thing. However, the Saints have a history of moving guys around. Andrews Pete was an offensive tackle, moved to guard. Ruiz was a center, moved to guard. So the Saints have a history of moving guys around. What I will say, though, because I've seen a lot of people freaking out on social media and getting really frustrated about the Saints playing Fuaga at left tackle. If you listen to Dennis Allen's words, and maybe I'm being a moron for believing Dennis Allen, but I am going to take his word for this. Dennis Allen said, in quotes, "I think it's more about let's see if he could play left tackle or not. He hadn't had a lot of work on the left side, none in game action, so get him some reps over there and see what he can do. We're pretty confident he could play right tackle, so getting him some work over on the other side is important, and then we'll evaluate it as we go and see how he does." Those words for me are really important. Now, I know, again, Dennis Allen, when he speaks, not everyone wants to listen. I will be the first one to say sometimes I just close my ears. But what he's telling people, and I think it should just be common sense for all of us Saints fans, is we know and fully believe Fuaga can be our right tackle of the future. We're confident about that. But what if there is a chance he's our left tackle of the future? And no matter what you think, what I think, left tackle is way more valuable than right tackle in the NFL, especially when you got a right-hander throwing the football, which the Saints do. It doesn't matter if it's Derek Carr, Spencer Rattler, Jay Kaner, Nathan Peterman, or even Kellen Mond. They're all right-handed quarterbacks. So left tackle is more important. And again, this isn't to say that Fuaga is going to be the left tackle of the Saints week one. But what if the Saints work him at left tackle and this guy is so damn good that he is their left tackle of the future? What do you do then? You take a deep, sigh right now and say you're frustrated. But man, if that happens, it's a sigh of relief actually to know that you have the left tackle spot, just penciled down for at least the next 5 seasons. So I'm very much okay with the Saints trying this out. I know that might be in the other side of the spectrum here, where people say, "Hey, I don't really like that. Like I don't want them to do that." I am very much okay with the Saints working him at left tackle. If it works, fantastic. If it doesn't, you play him at right tackle and you're confident in it. What only thing I would say is I hope the Saints are quick with their actions. I don't want them to wait till August and they're like, let's just try him at right tackle. No, like you should kind of have an idea going into training camp. Can he do it or not? Or do we think he can progress to the point where he can do it or not? So I'm very excited to see what's next for Fuaga. Again, I've raved about this guy constantly, and I think that he is going to be a reliable talent for the Saints. We just have to see what position. So Fuaga, right now, working at left tackle. Now, let's shift gears. Another rookie that we all can't stop talking about. And maybe some of it is just fool's gold and the other is us being desperate. I don't know which one it is. I don't really care, because Spencer Rattler does have that arm talent. You see it on the screen, you see it in front of your face, and you go, man, he's got it. Whatever it is, he's got that factor when he's throwing the football. Now, again, you're in rookie minicamp. You're not going up against defenses. It's pretty much a routine practice, but it just looks effortless for him. And I think for Spencer Rattler, do not sell short the fact that this kid is not really a 5th-round pick. He's 5th-round pick by Wikipedia. That's what I would say. Because if you search him up on Wikipedia, it says 5th-round pick. But if you use kind of the logic of what happened in this past draft, he really is a day 2 talent. And with the run on quarterbacks and with the teams like the Broncos getting their quarterback, the Falcons getting theirs early in the 1st round, whether you think that's a reach or not with Bo Nix and Michael Penix respectively, those were teams that could have been in the Spencer Rattler market on day 2 had they not gotten those quarterbacks on day 1. So he doesn't even get to the 5th round. And I think that does matter. I think it does matter that this guy has 1st-round talent. I also think it matters that he has zero pressure to start this year. Heck, I don't expect him to play a single game this year. I know there's some Saints fans that are going a little too far out with that and thinking he's going to start. I don't expect him to start a game this year, but I'll tell you, if Spencer Rattler shows over the course of the next couple of months that he could be the Saints' backup as soon as this year, I think the Saints might have something with there. Because with all these other quarterbacks they've taken before, Garrett Grayson, Ian Book, even Jake Haener, we haven't heard that step yet, right? Even Haener last year, PEDs and all, not good enough to dethrone Jameis Winston as the backup. Now, Jameis is a high-level backup. I get that. But if Rattler can come in and immediately cement himself as number 2, that's great for him. As for how he performed this Saturday, I mean, look, again, you don't want to put too much stock in it and get overhyped about it. But again, 7 on 7s, he went 11 for 12, I think that he looked pretty good. He looked the part. It's effortless when he throws the football. That's something I've used for guys like Mahomes and Rodgers. Now, again, those are elite all-time quarterbacks. He's not going to be one of those guys. He's just not. The numbers would swing towards no. But I think there's a lot to like about him, and he's got that kind of confidence to him. Like, he knows he can do this, and I think that's half the battle in the NFL. But we shall see. I'm excited for Spencer Rattler. I totally get why people are excited. I think that there's so much potential there with him. Obviously, us fans have to be patient. But if you were to ask me today, who's the player you're most excited to see in the preseason, I'd have to go him because A, it's the position, right? I mean, quarterback's so damn important. But B, I think there's something there. And I'm going to be honest, guys. I was excited to watch Jake Haener last year in the preseason. So why the hell would I not be excited to watch Spencer Rattler? So Spencer Rattler, again, looked pretty sharp today. And there seems to be a nice connection there with Bub Means. So we'll see how that develops. When asked about it, Rattler said he's trying to build his chemistry with everyone. Obviously, that's the politically correct answer. But hey, if him and Bub Means got a connection, we'll see how that goes. So before I wrap things up, guys, I talked about 2 rookies, exciting rookies, obviously, with Rattler and Fuaga. I want to talk about 2 veterans. Obviously, weren't practicing today, but Klint Kubiak, who was there obviously for rookie minicamp, was asked about Alvin Kamara and Taysom Hill. Start with Taysom Hill, and then I'll finish with Alvin Kamara. Taysom Hill, when asked about his role, Klint Kubiak said, "We've been moving him a lot at a lot of spots as he's done his entire career. So we're looking forward to giving him a lot of volume early, and then we'll start narrowing it down as we get a little closer to the season." To me, again, maybe Klint Kubiak is one of those coaches that's really good at telling you something and he doesn't really mean it. But that kind of sounds like Taysom Hill will have a similar role to what he's had his entire Saints career. Moving him around, making sure you maximize his usage, and making sure that, hey, we understand he's a really good football player. He might not have a set position, but we're a better team if he's on the field. And that sounds what Kubiak is kind of saying. And that's really good for me because I think for the Saints, if they're going to reach the highest level of what they can be this year, and I don't even know what that could be yet. Maybe that's 10-7, 11-6, highest level of what they could be. I think Taysom Hill is in that equation because the Saints have a guy who you can match up against linebackers, can beat him. You match up against safeties, probably too strong. You get him there in short yard situations he could run. There's a lot you can do with Taysom Hill. Now, some of it is gadget-related stuff. But if you pay attention to the teams in the past that have really had success in the NFL, they've gotten away with a lot of gadget stuff. And I'm not comparing the players because he's a better football player. But Deebo Samuel, who is outstanding, like Deebo Samuel is so freaking awesome. A lot of stuff he does is that gimmicky, gadgety plays where Shanahan's drawing up a beauty and he's saying, I'm going to get you in space and you're just going to make a damn play because you're that good of an athlete. And I think the Saints can hopefully have moments like that with Taysom. It is going to be to such a smaller scale because obviously Taysom Hill's not Deebo freaking Samuel, but it's good to know that Kubiak sees him and goes, I don't know what position, but he's an offensive weapon. And that's all that matters. So I'm excited for Taysom Hill because I was a little worried that maybe the Saints would have no use for him this year. And I'm glad to know that they do see something. Unless they're bullshitting me, and I don't think that's the case. So Taysom, arrows pointing up for him. Arrows also pointing up for Alvin Kamara, which doesn't shock me at all. I think Alvin, it's weird. I think skill-wise now, or I guess explosiveness, That is on the downslope because he's an older running back and you only have so much time in this league. But what I will say is if the Saints improve their O-line, which again, we'll see, that should open up running lanes. And the hope is that Kubiak's scheme will open up running lanes and that'll make life easier. But what I love to hear about Kubiak was today when asked about Alvin, said it'll be really fun to work with him. He's got a great skill set that we could do a lot of things with. And then also said he's been in multiple times in my office talking football and we get some one-on-one time to teach him the offense. And he says he's a very bright player. I'm just now figuring out now how bright he really is. It'll be fun to load his plate up. That to me is exciting as all hell. And the one thing I will say that I think Kubiak hopefully can do, and again, this is all optimism, but May is the time to be optimistic, guys. If you're being pessimistic in May, what the hell is the point of showing up in September? I think that for Alvin's case, again, he's not the same player anymore. He's just not. I mean, it's 2024 now. They took him in 2017. But I used to get frustrated that Pete Carmichael would use Alvin like he's just a guy and not the guy. And maybe he isn't the guy anymore to go for, 1,700 scrimmage yards. But can Kubiak get him out in space? Can you use him in the receiving game? I think the answer is yes to both. And if he does that, the Saints will be a better team for it. And I think Alvin, he's such a damn good leader. He deserves the opportunity to show that he can still ball. And I think getting those extra times, those one-on-ones with Kubiak is only going to help him. And I think if you find a way to get Alvin going again, takes a little less pressure off Kendre, and I think that'll allow Kendre Miller to shine as well, and you could have that 1-2 punch. And again, this is not set in stone. There's no guarantee any of this freaking works, man. But when I hear that Kubiak's working out with Alvin and they're figuring out ways to use him even more, that excites me because I was tired of 2nd and 10 runs that Pete Carmichael was dialing up. I was tired of check downs after he blocks, as if Alvin can't make a guy miss in a phone booth, as if Alvin can't run the Texas route concept better than anyone else, as if Alvin can't run an option just over and over and over again and making it work. So I'm excited for all this. And again, look, guys, I don't know if it's all going to work out. I think the Saints really are hovering in that 7-10 area. They just seem like a middle of the pack team. But Klint Kubiak, you hope that he could get things going. You hope you get some contributions from your rookies. And you hope that the veterans who are still winners can make plays. And I think Kubiak is going to try and do his best to make sure that Taysom Hill and Alvin, two guys that are winners in my mind, two guys that are proven playmakers, do things for the Saints. And again, if all that happens, maybe life's a little bit easier for Derek Carr. And it's going to need to be because I don't think he's the type of quarterback that shit hits the fan and he'll find a way to make things great. So we'll see what happens, guys, but I'm very excited about the future of this team in terms of having something to look forward to because it's been a minute, but now we got something. So let me know in the comment section below, guys, what are you most excited about so far through Saints rookie minicamp? Again, ends on May 12th, which is tomorrow at the time of this recording. Let me know. Is it Spencer Rattler? Is it Fuaga? Is it Bub Memes? Is it someone from the undrafted class? Are you very excited about what Kubiak had to say about the vets? Let me know in the comment section below, and we'll get back to you. And as always, guys, make sure to subscribe to Boo Crew Media. Hit the notification bell so you get alerted for new videos. We also have awesome highlights and photos from day 2 of minicamp. So shout out to Lala. She did an exceptional job. So good at what she does. And I think she deserves a huge shout out. Not just from me, from Saints fans as well. But I'll always give her a shout out. She's outstanding. So shout out to her. But again, guys, subscribe to Boo Crew Media on YouTube and stay tuned for more content from the Straight Up Saints podcast, the destination for